It is Monday, May 24th, and I am just getting the live stream link sent out. We're going to talk about all the Bitcoin craziness this weekend, and I am about halfway through my CMT book with 750 pages of knowledge. So I did not do my live stream this weekend. I was studying, and my little ones are home today, so I'm going to be short because otherwise they're going to get into, yes, chaos. So let me just grab this link right here and we'll get this set up. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. I hope you were able to capture the bottom on some of those cryptos as well. Was definitely a potential for buying on that oversold portion. There we go. Beautiful. All right. So this is setting up. What is this? Somebody just posted caveat emptor securities to closing trades only. We want to provide some timing for this change for Charles Schwab. You'll only be able to liquidate your positions effective by May 25th. Hold on one second over here, guys. I'm going to pull this up on the computer. Let's see, what is this? Whoops, no, that's not it. I was looking at Brainerd's information about CDC, and let's see here. This is a tweet out by Short Squeeze. You will no longer be able to purchase caveat emptor securities. Oh, okay, that's the name of the securities. Okay, so that's all that's about. So if you own caveat emptor, you're only going to be able to sell. All right, let's get the chat up and going. Hello, Anonymous. I forgot what your real handle was. Terry Williams and the Shovel. Let's do this. That's right. Okay, so I was just teaching in the training pit over at thedarkpools.com, and I was today was a walkthrough. We do some platform education as well. So today I was talking about, hey, TradingView, my absolute favorite. And when I was looking at this, let's go to VXX and let's talk about this crazy volume on the weekly chart. All right, look at the weekly chart right here. I'm going to make it full screen. It's just sort of piqued my interest because it was kind of like, hey, look at all this volume here. What happened? Up we go. Hey, look at all this volume. What happens? Up we go. Hey, look at all this volume. What happens? This was February 2020. Whoa, we went all the way up here. Look at this volume. Is there a pattern? Is there a pattern that is happening? Every time we have really big volume, we tend to have a little spike up in price action, which means a correction or drawdown in the S&P 500, because what VXX measures is the put buying on the S&P 500 index, and it measures the volatility. Not a good instrument to trade. Do not use this for trading, in my opinion. And remember, I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so all of this is for educational purposes and my opinion. But when I was doing this training, I went, wait a second, I'm seeing a pattern. 2 big weeks, and what happens? Up it goes. This had 2 big weeks, and what happened? Up it went. 2 big weeks, no price movement yet. There's going to be big price movement coming in the S&P 500. I'm going to call it out there today. Yeah, I'm going to call it out there today. Oui, ça va bien. Merci, Salvatore. That there's going to be a big move. There is going to be a very big move in the S&P 500 based on this volume, right? The volume really talks in the charts. So let's look at the SPY weekly and let's see. Do we have that same corresponding volume? Money flow out, money flow in. When we look back here, the money flowed really, yeah, right here, 2 weeks. I'm going to squish it a little bit. So 2 weeks out, and then of course as it bottoms, more volume coming in, right? More volume in at the bottom. Happened really, really quickly. 4 weeks, 5 weeks really for that total correction. And look at where we came down to. We came down to this 425 EMA. This is a 161 EMA right here. So 161 EMA back in 2018, that would put us down roughly at 319. Are we going to see 260 on the SPY? What do you think? You think that we are going to have such a crazy correction that we could see 260 from 419? I wouldn't put it past the market. We are in that 12-year cycle and that potential 30 to 50% retracement potential. So, you know, it's a matter of waiting, you know, having some cash on the sidelines should it happen to potentially buy in at the bottom. You need to get in position and buy puts on the SPY. Well, remember that timing wise, right? This one took 5 weeks to go from, or 4 weeks, excuse me, right? From here to here, right? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to use this. Here to the absolute bottom, 5 weeks. It took 5 weeks for it to have that big drop, right? So 5 weeks for 260. Hello, bad scientist. So let's see. I mean, it looks like we have a bit of a topping pattern up here, maybe a potential head and shoulder type formation. I want it to zoom in for me. Right? Shoulder, but it looks kind of like a failed right shoulder now. Here's our resistance, and here's the head. Failed right shoulder at the moment, but the week is not done, right? If we close below 417, there's a good chance that we have a bit of a head and shoulders on the weekly chart for the S&P 500. Otherwise, for now, we're above everything, so we're going to be bullish. But just pay attention because it does look like there is that potential for bigger moves to be happening, potentially to the downside, based on the VXX put buying volume. All right, so looking at the SPY today, we did have a nice long trade up above 417.60 all the way to the upside. Let's pull up the list over here. And I was practicing over there with a little list, creating a list. I can delete it later. So SPY is definitely up 1% today. Qs are also up. All of the majors are pretty much up at the moment. It does look like we have a bit of a recovery going on. Would watch that 334 level. 333 looks fairly strong. Volume is dropping off at the bottom. Looks like we might have a bit of a rollover. Thanks, Kevin. Kevin's reminding everyone, please hit that like button. And yes, please hit the like button if you like my live streams. Also, if you'd like the notifications when I do go live, other than Twitter, you can subscribe and turn on those notifications. And please share with your friends. This is free education to help them in the trading world. So Qs did have a nice trade to the upside. Also IWM as well. All the indexes were up today. I like to think of Mondays as positioning days. So I like to more watch on a Monday and prep and see where we end up at close on Monday to see. We have the IWM below the volume weighted average price from the highs back here. So keeping that in mind, the Russell does tend to lead the way. If we start to see this curling back over, close down below over here, 219.80, I think we're likely going to see. Thank you, Clario. Yeah, Chilario. Sorry, Chilario. Yeah, I think XRP is going to be heading to the upside. Was there any additional news? I know there's a lot of speculation going on with that SEC lawsuit, but I don't know if any new news came out. So if there is, put it in the chat for sure. And Dow Jones is surging to the upside as well, right after. Love your live streams. Doge token. Yeah, we'll talk about it as well. I've got to be quick today as well because I am on my live stream with Ticker Talker at 1 o'clock. So we will go over those tokens as well. I will talk about Doge and XRP for sure. So Dow Jones, I mentioned we have this box over here. It's definitely, it acted as a support right here, but it seems like we have some resistance hanging out up here around that 344 level. You can see all of the selling wicks right here, and we're still in that downward trend. It seems like we're going sideways, sort of in a holding pattern for those pilots out there, that we're waiting for that clearance one way or the other. Are we going to land down in the correction, or are we going to go full throttle up to new highs? All right, VXX right now is down on the day. However, we saw all that volume, right? We did have a bit of a movement right here and a bit of a movement right there. But is that going to be it? Are we going to see that that's all of the correction that we have, or is it going to be more of a move to the downside? The biggest volume that we have seen really on the VXX, so it's really interesting to me to see if we are topping out or we are going to be screaming to new highs. All right, let's check out the majors. So I had Apple on my list today, and it did move to the upside. If you guys want to sign up for my alerts, I do have them over at Ticker Talker. I do an alerts that will give you 13 setups, or excuse me, not 13 setups. It gives you 16 setups, and then my newsletter will give you 26 different setups, right? So it's 13 stocks, both directions. Hold on, let's see, somebody is, yeah. So Apple moving up, of course, that's affecting both the indexes, SPY and the Qs. Here's the big thing. Here we are hitting the 20, is this the 26? I think this is the 26 because I adjusted it for, no, this is a volume weighted anchor price from the high back here. So we are hitting that volume weighted anchor price and we are holding below it. So if we hold down below that, we could see that we continue the sell off. We are also below the high from over here, the volume weighted anchor price. So as long as we stay below those two levels, I'm actually going to be bearish on Apple. We are at a resistance point. We seem to have a bit of a double bottom right here, bouncing off of this volume weighted average price. But until we really clear one way or the other, above 128.30, bullish, below 120, what's that number right there? 123.25, bearish. So I'm going to wait for this holding pattern to finish and then move directionally once we determine which way Apple is going to go. In the meantime, it's just trading in this range between these two. Not that interesting to me. It did offer a nice potential day trade. Day trades, awesome. Swing trades, not right now for me on Apple. So let's look at Tesla today. Tesla is recovering a bit, especially with that bounce in Bitcoin. It had a big drop with Musk's holdings there, and we're bouncing here, which is probably also leading to a bounce in ARK as well, with Kathy Wood's investment here in Tesla as her 10% holding of that fund. So Tesla seems to have topped out roughly that $600 mark. Curious to see if we are going to end up and come back down below this 586 level, the 425 EMA as well. Let's look at Amazon. So Amazon is back testing that 3250 level. That is a really strong resistance level and support level. It has just been really acting up as strong proof for a long time. Right here, it was support, then it was the resistance to break. You guys almost see the sine wave price action. So now we're coming back to it again. Are we going to see a bigger drop to the downside, right? We are above a fair number of volume weighted anchor prices, but we could see, let's pull this one over here. I'm going to adjust this one right here. We're below that one. I think we're heading down. Yeah, I think we're probably going to be heading down a bit more until we can break above 32.81. That is the resistance that I would like to see broken before I would go into Amazon as a bull. This 32.50 has been a long time resistance level, so keep that in mind as well. Facebook definitely moving to the upside. Supposedly there's going to be a Facebook whistleblower out on the news today. I don't remember when or with who, but I did see a notation of that on Facebook, actually, that there was going to be a Facebook whistleblower coming out. So that should provide interesting news as well to see what is going to be said. I believe there's two different ones that are actually coming out and speaking out today. So anytime the word whistleblower is involved, it's never usually positive news. So have to keep that in mind. Can someone give me info on who the biggest funders of Citadel or Citadel shell companies? I don't know, you two, but maybe Google? Did you check that? I use Brave a lot more. Also, just a heads up, if you guys want a safer browser, you'll see this in just a second. Look, in the past time that I have used this, I have blocked 13,516 trackers. That is using the Brave browser. So just a heads up there, it is a bit more secure than other ones. All right. Yeah, check DuckDuckGo or You might just have to do digging, more digging. That's all. So Facebook seems like it's topping off here a little bit. Microsoft did have a big bounce up above that 238 level, moved up to 250. That 238 was, 248 was a strong resistance for a while, so we were breaking up above it. But a lot of these are looking fairly similar, right? They look like they surged up higher and now they're topping off, which is matching the SPY chart, right? Because a lot of these major holdings are in the SPY and they have that same sort of price action going on. So it seems like we have a W breakout, a little bit of a momentum slowing down, and potential curl down, but I'm not going to say that just yet. We need to break down below some levels. Hello, Elon Musk. Rep go, coin go. All right. Let's also look at Virgin Galactic here. And we have this nice gap to the upside today. It had a nice gap to the upside. I'd be watching this to see if it could hit up to 26.83. If it can, amazing. If it can break above there, then even better. I think we might see that this will continue, but likely this will pull back down to 425 EMA and then shoot to the upside. Yes. All right. We'll do AMC and CCL, and then I will switch on over to cryptos because then I'm going to be jumping over to the Ticker Talker channel. So AMC, big move again to the upside, up, down, up. I went Detective Batman on it. I have no idea where Citadel is getting its funding from to compete with the bank. Citadel may be the biggest manipulation of the market, and I'm not talking about GameStop. That's from Anonymous. Yes, we will look at those. We'll look at those coins, and yes, we finally had a bigger move. So we had a wave 1, 2, this is wave 3 up to 14. That 14 is offering really tough resistance. It really needs to break up above 15 for this to really move to the upside. And then after that, I would look for a test up here around roughly $17. And CCL, big move to the upside today, had a lot of pre-market volume, had a nice little trade up to the 425 EMA, right at 27.75. And actually all the way up to 28, but that 27.75 has really offered as resistance in the past. All right, let's flip over to the crypto space. So let's go to Bitcoin. Was watching this yesterday while I was studying. It's going to take a second right here. I have mine on Coinbase. So we had this big distribution box up here at the top, and it pulled back down. I'm going to make this a 4-hour chart on the right over here, and we will add on. Oh, I was messing around with, you guys can see I was showing someone how to do risk management right there. We are hitting the volume weighted anchor price right here at 37,496. We are just above it. And interesting to see if we are going to continue this upward trend, or as we're also hitting the 26 simple moving average on the daily chart, are we going to turn back around over here? Let me turn it on, and I'll turn on the other ones. Actually, hold on. We want the 50. I don't want the 90, and I don't want the 120. Okay. So 4-hour chart over here. Let's adjust this to all of them. Sorry, it's the 4-hour chart that we're hitting the 26 over here. It's going to take a second. There we go. So it's really holding that as resistance. Are we going to break up above, or is this the point? Hey, we have a bit of a gravestone doji right here. Are we going to head back down from there and break back down below 33,000? I'm going to set an alert on breaking down below 33,000 right there. It looks as if we're obviously at a pivotal point on it. Is this going to continue to the upside, or is this going to break down further? All right, let's head over to the ISO 2022 coins, which everything was at a discount yesterday thanks to Bitcoin dropping. And I'm curious to see if these are all going to continue to rise, or are they going to drop to the downside again. XLM had the biggest move back up from the bottom so far today. Stellar, which is part of the networks, part of the ISO new banking system, bounced off of that 200 SMA right here on the daily, testing the 161 and the 4. Again, it looks like the momentum might be slowing down. ALGO as well, having a tough time breaking the $1 move, $1 resistance level. And it also bounced off of that 200 simple moving average. IOTA today also bounced. They all went down into, well, this one's the weakest of them all, but this was the strongest. So this was the strongest all the way up at 274 and came down to 270. This was 70% off discount yesterday. It was kind of like, this was a bargain basement shopping for the crypto space. This was super, super strong at 274, and then we went to 70% off, down at roughly 60%. Have fun, Anonymous. And now it's rebounding a bit. But I think a lot of these altcoins are probably going to be going the way of Bitcoin, whichever direction. That's kind of like the index for the crypto spaces. And as Bitcoin surges, so do the altcoins. Yeah, I know. Then we have XRP. So XRP did heavily correct. I'm really happy that I am in on the price range I'm in. I was never in the red on this. And seeing that it bounced off of that longer term trend line made me very, very excited. Also off of the 200 exponential moving average. You're going to pass out. All right, just don't hit your head. And this could potentially surge. Maybe this was a correction for bigger people to get in. Definitely some news with the SEC to come out. You know, they keep saying every week, oh, we're going to have a verdict on this. And then it's like they push it back and they push it back and they push it back. It seems like they might be waiting for timing of some other things to release the verdict of release the verdict on XRP. Sorry, I just got a funny, just saw a funny GIF on one of the other chat rooms that I'm in the crypto trading room of somebody doing a Bitcoin dance. All right, and then we have XDC. This is XinFin. This has been used in the Asian markets for the financial world. Also due to be set up. Sorry if I missed it covered, but XRP was just manipulation. You know what, Morgan? The entire stock market, the entire crypto crash is manipulation. Ah, there, my buddy Jay is happy on that alert that's going on BAC. I set that up during the training session. So XDC, another one of these ISO 2022 coins that was heavily corrected yesterday down to that 161 EMA, a nice add point bouncing off of that moving average. And Dogecoin, I know Asif wanted to talk about Dogecoin. So Dogecoin, yes, Dogecoin coming down. We hit that 50 simple moving average. It looks like it's a bit of resistance right now on that daily chart. However, we hit the 425 EMA, and this is my 336 SMA. I just played around with a 336 SMA, and it seems like it's actually holding as a support level. I'm not sure if there was any algorithms written up on that. I don't know where the 336 comes from in working, but it works. So I've put it on my chart. And looking for this to break out up above 42 cents. If we can get up above 42 cents, oh yes. Asif, I've been talking about this getting ready to crash for quite a while now too as well. So seeing that, totally normal that Bitcoin would drop down, especially as the low float coin of the crypto space. It's just going to be, are we going to have a dead cat bounce from here with a pretty extreme short squeeze and then a continuation to the downside? Or will this be a full on reversal for Bitcoin? All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for today. I hope that you have an amazing day. Thank you guys, as always. Again, these are my official handles right here. If you guys receive any messages from something other than this, please report it. I've had problems with YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. There are a lot of scammers out there, so please be aware of that. Please report them. Please let me know. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for being you. Carpe profit, seize those profits one trade at a time, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great